You will know you're reborn tonight. Must be right, but I'll stay by your side.
Hey, what's up guys, it is Psycho or Sam here, and welcome back to the second episode of top-down shooter game in Unity. So today we're going to be creating the shooting and killing system, and we're going to be having like a really simple template of a gun, which is going to be a placeholder. And then maybe like perhaps in the future of these episodes or this series we could like implement a 3D model of the gun. And we're also going to be using like placeholding enemy types, but you can obviously use whatever meshes you wish to for both the guns and the enemies that we're going to be killing. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started with this video. So first and foremost, I'm going to open up my player script, and obviously if you haven't watched the first episode of this series, I'm gonna be linking that in the description down below, which I really strongly obviously suggest you to watch it before you do with this one, because obviously we have everything ready from here. And so far we have only created the movement for the player, and we have also targeted the or actually created a camera system, which also allows us to make the player look at the camera position or mouse position that we have in the scene. So we're gonna have a very easy moment with shooting, and so without further ado, we're obviously gonna be jumping into that. So what I want to do is I want to go to my player script, and then I want to go under methods section and go to void update. So inside of here, oh, and also I can go underneath player movement, and then I can say I'm creating a new comment and saying shooting. So we're gonna say if input.get mouse button down, then use 0, which is going to be the right mouse button, and then we're gonna say, oops, I'm a little bit clumsy, I don't know why. There we go, that's the right key. So we're gonna say we're gonna call a method which we're gonna be creating in just a bit, and this is going to be called shoot. Okay, so we're gonna be creating a new void, and make sure that you just jump underneath the last bracket or brace, or what do you call it? Yeah, curly bracket, there we go, for void updates, so that you actually close it down. And inside of here I want to say void shoot. There we go. And in here we're gonna say, like, first and foremost we're just going to be creating the shooting system, and then I like perhaps we're gonna be creating like a reload system as well, so that we can pick up ammo and such. But first and foremost I just want to make sure that the shooting works. So I'm gonna go back to my variables section. I'm gonna jump down a little bit and create a few new variables. So the first one is going to be called public game object bullet position or bullet spawn point. Okay, and make sure that you write S and P. I spelled that wrong. Bullet spawn point. There we go. So you make sure that B is lowercase, S is uppercase, and then P is uppercase as well. And then we want to say public, or actually, public float wait time. Alright, so this is going to be the time that you're going to be waiting before you can shoot one more time. So I decided like we are going to be having a pistol, so that the player cannot obviously like rapid fire with a pistol. So we're going to be using a wait time for that. And yeah, well, I'm just going to keep it public. I was thinking we could make it private, but never mind. So first and foremost, before actually proceeding here, I want to go back to Unity and actually create the gun. So we're going to be creating a new cube. So I'm going to go to game object, 3D object, and then click cube. There we go. And right off the bat, I can just call this pistol. There we go. And I'm now going to scale it a little bit. Like, this is going to be a very basic placeholder for a gun, like I said earlier. And like maybe in the future we can actually implement a 3D gun model, but right now I'm going to be happy with this. So I'm just scaling this a little bit so that I can make it look as similar as possible to a gun. And what I'm doing here is I'm just copying this and then pasting. And actually, before we proceed with this, I want to go to game object and create actually, wait on let's do it like this. I decided that I would just make it easier for you guys. So we had a game object, a 3D cube that we created. I called it pistol, and then I said copy paste. don't do it yet. And instead you can just do it, actually do it now. So you just copy, paste, and you will have one more pistol, which is the initial rotation and position. And then you can call this pistol holder. I decided, like, or at least I realized we would need this because obviously we're going to be having several cubes that are going to be holding the pistol or the actual pistol mesh. So I decided we would have one parent object to hold all these components, obviously. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to drag my pistol into the pistol holder. So inside of my hierarchy, I just drag the pistol into the pistol holder, and that will translate the pistol holder into a parent, and that will make my pistol a child object. So now it's going to be a little bit easier for us to work with, because when I move pistol holder, I'm going to be moving all these, the entire pistol itself. So what I want to do next is I want to disable mesh render, or actually I want to remove the component mesh render, box collider, and cube mesh filter on the pistol holder, not the pistol. So now what I want to do is I want to copy paste the pistol again, not the pistol holder this time. And this one, well, actually I can keep the name, but basically this is going to be the, ooh, it's rotating a little bit weird, hold on. I wonder why it's doing that. That's really weird. Well, I guess I can just, hold on. This should be working fine. I don't know why it's doing that. That's really weird. I never lived through that. That's really, really weird. Hold on. I'm just gonna find out. Okay, this is really weird. Alright, so basically what I'm gonna do then is I'm gonna create a new 3D cube. And let's see here, I'm just gonna scale this up a little bit, or scale this down a little bit, and I'm gonna have the same position for this as I have for the initial pistol. There we go. Actually, I could just make it easier for myself and drag this new cube into pistol, not pistol holder, and then scale, I can just set 1, 1, 1. There we go. So this is going to set the same scale for this cube as the pistol has. And then I'm just gonna drag it back into pistol holder and rotate it from here. Now it's happening the same thing. I don't know why. This is so weird. Like, this has never actually happened before. I don't know. Like, this is so weird. I don't know why it's weirding out like that. But okay, I guess I'll just use this way then. There we go. I don't really think that I care that much, honestly. So I'm just gonna scale this up a little and make it look like a pistol. Drag it down a bit, there we go. And there we go. The model itself is not very important to us right now, but I'm just like, I think it's really weird that it's making this right now. I don't know why, but oh well. So yeah, I think that looks like a pistol, which really doesn't, let's be honest here. That's the ugly truth, but hey, I'm happy with this. So what I'm gonna do here next is I'm gonna rename cube to pistol 2, I guess, and then I'm gonna copy this pistol 2, paste it, Control C, then Control V or V, and I'm gonna scale it down so I have it as a very small cube. There we go, and this is going to be the bullet spawn. All right, so this is going to be this point where the bullet spawns and then transforms, or like moves forward pretty much. And this is, I'm actually gonna call this bullet spawn point. There we go. And obviously this is also going to be a child object for the pistol holder. So now what I want to do is I want to go to my player holder, and inside of the player script you're gonna see these new 2 fields pop up, which are the ones that we created recently. And instead of bullet spawn point, I obviously want to drag and drop my bullet spawn point object that I recently created. And instead of wait time, I want to set to 0.5. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I was going to describe, but that's pretty much it. So you just change the value, and you also add the object that we recently created. And I'm also going to make pistol holder a child object of my player holder. So I just drag it and drop it to my player holder. There we go. And now I want to position this pistol as I want it to be in the game. So however I want it to look on the player. To test this out, I'm actually going to play the game real quick and see how it looks in game. So just going to wait for Unity to load the game. should be finished. There we go. Okay, so you can see that it's correctly moving with the player and rotating with the player, and everything else is working fine as well, which is good. Oh, and I also remembered that we didn't finish the player movement system in the previous episode. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna say, like really quickly, I just wanna, actually we can just copy, like go to your player movement inside of void update and copy the, copy, or actually you can write this to practice your skills a little bit more with coding, but this is repetitive to me and it's also time consuming, so I'm just gonna paste it. So I just want to copy if input.get key down key code W and paste it, and then I'm gonna change this to my axis that I want to say. So if you press A, like A on your keyboard, you're gonna move left, and if you say press S, not SW, S, there we go, you're gonna move back. And if you press D, oh my goodness, this is annoying, there we go, you're gonna move right. Alright, so that's pretty much it. So you basically just want to say the same function that we had here, but you basically just want to say the only things you're going to change is the key code dot whatever key you want, and then vector3 dot forward to whatever axis you want. So left, back, right, you know, depending on the key. WASD is the primary movement system, and you basically move forward, left, back, right. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I want to go back to Unity and just make sure that this is working fine. And yeah. Okay, so I realized that I made a mistake. So basically, if you play the game right now and if you haven't changed my code, if you like look towards your camera and press W, you're gonna be moving towards the camera, which is wrong. I don't want that to happen, because I want, like, whenever the like despite the position you're looking at, or despite the rotation that the player object has, I want the player to be able to move to left and right just the way I want to press the key. So if I want to move left and I don't want to look at the player rotation, I just want to move left. So we're going to be creating that now, and I know where I made the mistake. I made it so that the camera is rotating the player holder instead of the player, or instead of the player. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to no, it was not camera, it was the player, right? Yeah, player facing mouse. So what we're gonna do here is we're basically gonna say we're gonna create a new object first, so, or a variable. So we go back to variable section and we say public game object player mesh. Okay, so actually we could just call this player object to make it easier for ourselves. Player mesh is going to sound as if we're creating a mesh, so I'm just calling this for player object. There we go. And I call it player obj because I usually say obj to objects. That's like a shortening in coding for objects. And inside of void update, in my methods section, inside of void update, we're gonna go to transform.rotation. So we're gonna change that, or we're actually just going to add player object dot in front of transform.rotation. So we're just gonna have player object dot transform.rotation instead of just transform.rotation. And now we're gonna go back to Unity, go to player holder, and inside of player obj, we're gonna drag and drop the player, not the player holder. So just make sure that you do this correctly. Now I can play the game again and it should be working fine. Oh, this isn't, hold up. If you just drag the pistol holder inside of player, not player holder, but player, and play the game again, it should be working fine, I guess. This isn't wanting to work fine. Hold on. I made a mistake somewhere, but I don't know where. Inside of quaternion.slurp, we also need to change transform.rotation in there to player obj.transform.rotation. So it's literally the same, except you just add the player object dot in front of transform.rotation there too. So now we can go back to Unity finally, and it should be working fine. Yep, it's working now. So you can move, like you can hold down W and look wherever you want inside of your game, and you should be moving forward despite wherever you're looking. And that's exactly the system that I wanted to create. So this is usually how you have it in top-down shooters, so this is really good. Now let's move finally into the shooting part. So we're gonna go to Visual Studio once again, and instead of void shoot, we're gonna say, let's see here, like we actually need a bullet too. So we're gonna go back to variable section, and we're gonna create a new public game object bullet. So this is going to be a bullet object that we're gonna be creating. And as a bullet, I'm just gonna use a sphere. So I'm gonna create a new sphere inside of my 3D world. Like I'm just gonna go to game object, 3D object, and then sphere. And size is like down very much, so I just want to have it really small. And for a bullet, you can actually use whatever kind of mesh you want, but I'm just gonna use this because it makes it easier for me. And inside, like I just want to highlight this object, and instead of calling it sphere, I want to rename it to bullet. And now what I want to do is I want to drag this into my assets folder in the project tab. So then I go to my assets folder, and it should be there as bullet. So I can drag it and drop it, and you will see that the same object spawns. Now that we have it saved as a prefab, I can actually delete bullet from my hierarchy, not the assets folder. So just make sure that you do this correctly. So I just remove it from my hierarchy and go to my player holder, and inside of player, or inside of the player script where it says bullet and then a new game object, we're just gonna drag it and drop it. There we go. So now we can go back to Visual Studio and say, inside of void shoot, we're gonna say instantiate, did I spell that right? Instantiate, there we go. We're gonna say bullet dot transform, and we're gonna say whatever position we wanted to spawn at. So what do we call it? Bullet spawn point. So this is where we want to say bullet spawn point dot transform dot position. There we go. And then comma quaternion dot identity. There we go. Should be working fine. And we also want to say, let's see here. Actually, I can create a new bullet script just to make sure that all these bullets work fine. So what I'm gonna do is I wanna go back to Unity, and I wanna go to project tab, highlight bullet, and inside of inspector, I wanna add a new component and write bullet. And where it says new script, just click there or press enter and create an add. There we go. So now we have a new script, and I also wanna drag the script inside of my scripts folders here so that I can keep it more organized. And next up, I wanna open up the bullet script. Reload all, I guess. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. So in here, I'm just going to use void update. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna say transform dot translate vector3 dot forward times time dot delta time times 7f. There we go. So this is going to be how fast or actually this function itself is going to make the bullet travel forward, and this 7f is basically my lucky number, which is going to be the amount of speed it travels in. So we can edit this number whenever we want, and actually I can just do like this: public float speed, and I basically created a new variable inside of my bullet script. And instead of using 7f here, I can just say speed and go back to Unity. Let it load. It should be loading a field here. Doesn't seem to do it. Public float speed. Why did it not load? Why is it now working? What is this? Wait, hold on. Remove component, add component. Why is it not adding the what? I don't get it. Wait, hold on. I think it bugged out when I was opening the script. I'm gonna reopen the script and see how it works. It did work. But why? Why is it not loading? I swear, I'm the only person who has this kind of trouble when making like this kind of video. Oh, now it loads. Okay, cool. So what I'm gonna do is I can also check this is trigger checkbox inside of sphere collider on the bullet object inside of my project tab. So I checked that, unfold this, and then inside of speed in the bullets component, I want to say 7. So let's see. I also want to make it like destroy itself after a while of like flying off. So what I want to say is public float max distance, there we go. And I want to say this, or max distance plus equal 1 times time dot delta time. So this is going to increase max distance by 1 every second. And if max distance is greater or equal to, let's say we're gonna have it for 5 seconds, and then we're gonna say destroy this game object. There we go. So this is basically going to check for if max distance is equal to or greater than 5, which is going to be the maximum amount of seconds that the bullet can fly for. And if it is, then we're going to destroy the bullet, meaning that we're not going to have an effect anymore. There we go. So with that being said, I just want to make sure that I save it. Okay, so now I can play the game and it should be working fine as shooting. And yes, it is. So I can shoot, but the player is bugging out a little bit when I move. Hold on. If I disable the rigid body or remove the rigid body component from my player holder and go back, it should be working fine, but now we're not gonna have any gravity on the player, which is a little bit weird. I don't know why that bugs out actually. That's really weird. If we add back the rigid body, or actually, you know, yeah, I think we should just do that. There we go. So I just added back a rigid body. Now I can play the game and see how this works. Oh, now it's working fine. Like, why is this happening to me? Why? I don't get it. So as you can realize here, the bullets are getting destroyed after a while of traveling, which is exactly what we want. And this is pretty much the max amount of distance they can travel. So you can see where my mouse is right now, they're getting destroyed, every single one of them, because the player isn't moving forward. So I can move forward, and obviously now I'm going to be able to shoot a little bit further, because they're like 5 seconds are going to be further away. So this is working fine. And before we end this video, I also want to create a really simple way of detecting if we are hitting something. So what I want to do here is, actually I like really want to create the enemy script in the next episode, so I could just leave it here, but at the same time I want to feel like I made a little bit more progress, but I don't know if I can make anything more than that really. Feels a bit weird, I don't know. Let's see here. We pretty much created everything that was really just relevant to this video, but I don't know. I wish this was like a live stream and I could ask you guys if you want me to add something more. Like right now, I'm just trying to make the basics because this is only episode 2, but like, I don't know. I'm not really sure, but if you guys feel like I missed out something, or if you have any suggestions on what else I should add, let me know in the comments. But with that being said, I guess I'm just gonna end this episode here. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, guys. I really appreciate your views, your support on my videos lately. It's been incredible. The amount of subscribers that we are reaching is just insane. I mean, I was never really planning to actually grow my channel that fast, but we have done it because of you guys and because of your support. So thank you so much to everyone who's been here since day 1 or who's been here since today, pretty much. And I just appreciate everyone so much. So thank you so much for your support. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. It really supports me a lot and shows me that you guys want more. And leave a comment if you feel like you have anything specific you would like me to cover up in this tutorial series. I could definitely make it happen in my next episode of this. And besides that, subscribe also if you want to stay up to tune for new cool content like this, more tutorial videos, more level designs, more tips and tricks, comparisons, whatever you want pretty much. And with that being said, guys, I'll catch you guys in the comment section. Peace out, guys.
You will know your